We're on the Country versus Metal podcast with Evan Boyer. How you doing?
What's going on, man? I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm glad to talk to you again.
Yeah, man, me too. It's been a while. It's been since last year. I don't know when last year, but quite a while, man. How have you
Yeah,
been?
dude, I've been doing great. It's funny. I was asking Steve. I was like, "Have I met Evan in person?" Because like when you do a video podcast and you edit so many videos,
Yeah.
like in my mind it was like you were there, and I was like,
Yeah.
"That I've met a lot of your friends, and I know you're doing the Stocktober
Yes,
thing, right?" So
absolutely.
yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped for that. I'll be there. And there was like a gathering last year that I was going to go to, but I was in the studio and I wasn't able to make it, which sucked. But this time, I'm pumped for it. I'm pumped for Stocktober. It's
Yeah,
got a great name too.
yeah, yeah. That was all Steve.
Was it? I was
Yeah,
going to ask, like, all right, marketing brain working real well. There you go.
so
There you go.
you got some new music coming out.
I do. Yeah, so I released my first full-length album last year in June, and that did far better than expectations because I didn't know what I was getting into. It was my first album. I was just like, I want to release something. I want my music out there. I don't care what people think, even though you kind of do you care what people think. But it definitely helps you either go forward or kind of like tone things down. And man, it was just such an awesome experience. The recording process, putting out the music and hearing everyone like their takes, just hearing what people felt about it just made me want to get right back into the studio. And as you know, studios cost money. It's like, okay, I want to get right back in there. I already have 10 songs ready to record. Okay, now we need to play some shows to save up some money to be able to get back in. So I was able to, I went back into the studio in late March, early April, and we recorded 5. And I did it with Tim Lightyear, as you're familiar with. The idea was for us to go down to. Let me back up a little bit. I found this studio. I really wanted like the live-in experience of a studio, right? So we're not, packing up the bag. All right, we're leaving and getting out of the creative mind space, and then coming back the next morning, and then I have to spend an hour getting back in that creative mind space. So I found this incredible studio down in Fredericksburg, Audio Styles. It's owned by a guy named Taylor Tash, who is just phenomenal, genius, and he set up this studio so well. And you can live there as well. So I told Tim, I'm like, here's the thing. I want to do kind of a getaway, fully embraced, fully, you're totally in it, and record these songs and see how they come out. So me, Taylor, who obviously owns it, Taylor started as kind of like the engineer, but as we got going, and Tim was the producer, but as we got going, Tim was like, dude, and he said this in such a good way. He's like, Taylor's like co-producing this and he's doing a hell of a job. And I'm like, that's great, because the way I looked at it, and then I brought in my guitarist, Tyler Murph, and I told the guys, because they had never really worked together before. Taylor and Tim had never even met before. So I told them, I'm like, guys, I feel like I just assembled the Justice League, and I'm Batman. I'm the one with the no powers at all, but I'm footing the bill. And I just assembled all of these excellent creative types, and they happened to work together so well. And we came up with these songs, and I'm just completely floored by them. I'm so excited to release them, even though it's one by one. It's like each one gets their little chance to, everyone gets to see it. And that just, I'm super pumped about it. And since I recorded it in April, we released the first song about a month and a half ago called "Old Man." I don't know if you had a chance to listen to it, but it's something. It's very different from what I've released before.
Yeah.
It is me on acoustic guitar, Brendan Anthony on the fiddle, and Tim with some small little piano, and that's it. And we recorded it on the floor. We did one rehearsal take, and then that was our first real take. And then we were like, we got it. We started a second take. We're like, no, this thing sucks. Let's just stick with what we got. And it was one of those times, and this sounds super cliche, but it was one of those times in the studio where it felt like, oh my God, this is why I'm doing this. This is like this magical, and there wasn't too much to it. That's the cool thing. I wrote this song. I had never heard violin or fiddle put to it. And Brendan's like, let's run through it. He's like, I've never heard the song. And I played it, and he starts doing his thing. And I just start welling up because it was so beautiful. And I'm not, typically that emotional. And it was really special. It was really magical. And it was a song, it's pretty deep to my heart. It's about, not to get off a tangent, but the song "Old Man" is about my biological father, who I've never met. It's kind of my ode to him. And so in general, it was an emotional song. And then to just hear it come together was just something so special to happen in that studio. And one of the best recording experiences I could have ever imagined. So that's the one that's out right now. Now, what I tend to do is I don't know if it's a curse or a blessing or what, somewhere in between probably. I release songs that are very different. Like if you like this song, you might not like the next song. If you don't like this song, wait till the next song because you might like that. Because the next one I'm releasing is called "Breakthrough." And I think you'll be proud of me. It's for the first time I switched to electric. And I was like, okay, this song calls for electric. Now, Tim Lightyear does a lot of the heavy lifting, but I brought down my 333 semi-hollow, and I'm figuring out how to work this thing, what buttons go where, what pedals are doing what. But it was awesome. I loved it. And now when we play live, I'm the guy that takes off my acoustic. I put on my electric. Hopefully it's tuned up. And I thought you'd be pretty proud of that because I know you're a big electric guy and not so much acoustic.
Yeah, I go back and forth, but I do love when you're going to see a country guy and he just comes out with an electric. You're like, all right, this is gonna be great. But dude, I did a video for "Old Man." I tried it twice and I lost the video twice, and then like the second time, I got the lyrics, and songs like that like scare me because it's such a deep. Once you hear the lyrics, and you're like, oh wow, and you're like, man, you have a moment, and like you said, like the fiddle, it's so expressive and emotive in the song, and you're smiling towards it, and I get when the lyrics are like that heavy and you're expressing like I love this, and like songs like that scare me. Like Presley Hale had a song, I was like, oh my god, this is about a brother, and I was like, wow. But like as a musician, I love pretty sounds, but the second listen is when you really get that deep connection to the lyrics. And now is that a song you could play live, or is Sweet Mary still the one that would be the hardest to get through?
Oh, Sweet Mary is still probably the hardest one for me to get through, because it's just so it just gets me still. But I have I have a hard time getting through Old Man too. I have some tricks. What I do, if I feel it start coming on, I start counting the lights. Like while I'm singing, I'll start counting the lights that are on me. 1, 2, because I know the lyrics by heart, right?
Yeah.
So that'll get me out of getting so emotional. But it's definitely one of the 2 most emotional songs and purely honest songs I've ever written.
Yeah.
And it's just to be totally candid, I've been sober for about 1.5 years now. And for that first year of being sober, I couldn't write a damn thing because I was so used to writing while tying one on. While 4 a.m, I'd just jot down lyrics and it would come out okay. So I had to relearn how to write songs. And the first song I actually completed that I was like, this is a song, was Old Man. And it took me about 1 year to get through it. But once I started that, he's a slave to the holler, with that first line, I'm like, this is who I'm going to write this about. And I just wrote this story knowing some information about him. I don't know every detail. I had to kind of, it's like based on a true story, right? Because I just don't know. Like I was adopted in North Carolina, and that's a closed adoption state where I can't find out any information, and they can't find out any information about me, which I'm sure there's reasons for that. But I was able to go on to 23andMe, one of those sites that told me basically the county where he would live, or the county where he's from, where that family's from, and it's in West Virginia, and it's pretty hard. I did some research. It's pretty hard living, and I kind of, if you haven't listened to the song, it's basically an ode to realizing, my biological father must have had a very rough upbringing and very rough, and kudos to my biological parents for getting me out of there. And that's kind of what that song's about. And it's deep. So yeah, maybe I have to answer your first question, like I have a hard time playing that and Sweet Mary live, but I do it. And the thing is, the caveat, I have yet to play it live with a fiddle. And I think if I play it live with a fiddle, I might lose it a little bit. I might get choked up. And it'll happen. It'll definitely happen. I'm gonna see if it can happen in the next few weeks. I got some shows coming up. And I'll be in Nashville for one of them, so I'm sure I can find a fiddle player there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a special song to me, and it's I'm glad I released it first. It's not exactly the pumping summer jam that everybody's looking for, but it's like this one needs to go first because it's kind of a juxtaposition from my first album. My first album was The Devil in Me, and proudly so. I have zero regrets. It's produced, right? It is a fully produced album.
Yeah.
And with these songs, I wanted to take that production back just a little bit, allow some imperfections. You can even hear my voice crack on Old Man. And I wanted to keep that. I'm like, that's real and that's raw, because the song called for that, real and raw. So what did you think about it? I'm curious.
like I told you, it scared me.
That's
I was like, man, if that's a song, like if you review it, you got to get it 100% right, in my opinion, because you wrote it from such an honest place, and
yeah.
kind of knowing the story behind it. You just like, when you first listen to it, and I always say, like, if I don't miss percussion, I know it's a great song. And then, like, I see the video didn't record. I'm like, oh, let me do it again. And then I'm like, oh. I said,
Yeah.
man, that fiddle's good, but man, thank God you didn't see me like smiling and like, you know what I mean? Like it's like it'd be the whole broken window serenade again when I heard it, and I'm like, the recording of that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You hear that harmonica hit, and it just puts you in a great mood. And man, I was like, what did it said? It sounds like old, I forget, Joe Walsh Eagles type, and then like.
Yeah.
You listen to it again, you're like, oh my God, someone poured their heart and soul on this. And well, the title really helps to set you up with the mindset that this is probably going to be a very deep, emotional song, which helps. But like you said, like that fiddle, man, it's just, and yeah.
It's special.
Yeah. So like, so your new stuff is like more like off the floor kind of recording.
Yeah, it's off the floor. Don't get me wrong. There's overdubs, but nothing like before. And maybe it's because I'm more experienced. I'm able to play with that click, and here we go. Let's do this. But it's a little more raw. It's especially this next song, Breakthrough, is way more rockin'. Like it's got some big, drummers throwing elbows, that kind of feel, which is very fun to play live, especially when I hit my pedal correctly. Because it's a totally different thing I'm not used to. I'm used to just having, my acoustic. It's all of these songs are. I let Talbot kind of preview a few of them, and one of them's obviously just straight up Americana rock, like not too heavy, but very much in that Jason Isbell vein of like his electric songs kind of thing. And then I texted him another one. I'm like, dude, you're the first one to hear this one. And he's like, dude, that should be on Peaky Blinders. I'm like, okay. All right, you get me hooked up with that. I'll send them that copy, no problem.
Dude, I thought The Devil in Me just so had such a wash these sins, can you? And that whole, like, I was just watching The Conjuring. Like, dude, it definitely would fit in something along those lines, and it's so good. And like that whole album, like Cedar Creek and all those, there's a lot of like call them like Soundscapes, a lot of cool, and To Summers has a lot of cool like bottom like layer shimmer that I really love. It's a great album. Like when you sit and listen to it all the way through, like you said, like a lot of yours very different. And speaking of like rocking songs, I don't know how I ever missed Hearts on Fire.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, like, I was like, that definitely has, you can definitely hear when we were talking before, the Tom Petty type influence.
Yeah.
And I was like, I dig it. I just, it has a really cool feel to it. And yeah, it is cool that you're very, multi-dimensional in your music. Because it's cool to see a lot of different sides of you.
It's like, yeah, thank you for saying that, because I always kind of step back and question, should I just lean into a certain sound, and like, okay, I do that well, should I lean into that? But sometimes I don't want to, and sometimes I want to write a song like Old Man. Sometimes I want to write a song like Hearts on Fire. Sometimes I want to write some spooky shit like the Devil in Me.
Yeah.
And I feel like while it's a massive, they're very different, but there's a little bit that connects them each. Maybe it's just my voice, I don't know. But it's funny you mentioned Hearts on Fire. That was the first song I ever released.
I was like, how did I miss this? Because that's like my jam.
That dude, if you like Hearts on Fire, Breakthrough will be right down your alley. I promise you that, because I kept hearing. I released Hearts on Fire in 2022. It was the first song I ever released. It's the first song I ever recorded live, recorded in the studio. Didn't know what I was doing. Took forever to get the vocals, just because I don't know what it, I don't even know what a click track was. And then I'm like, okay, release that. Okay, I didn't know what to expect. And then I started doing The Devil in Me, released The Devil in Me. And every time I would play Hearts on Fire live, someone would come up to me after and they would be like, that Hearts on Fire song. I'm like, yeah, it's older, but yeah, I'm glad that you're digging it, because when I released it, I didn't have any Spotify listeners or anything, so no one could really hear it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that I kind of went, I definitely went back to that kind of feel with this new song coming out on September 5th, Breakthrough. It's got some cool stuff into it. I can't help myself but add some cool instruments that I typically don't just garage band with, like you got your bass, your guitar, acoustic. And I had Brendan Anthony in the studio. He's Pat Green's fiddle player, amongst other things. He does so many incredible things in the music industry. But he was in the studio laying down fiddle for Old Man, and we're like, take a listen to this one. And he immediately grabbed his mandolin and he's like, dude, this is the move. And he did it. I'm like, that's perfect. That's exactly what we needed. Just a little bit. A little bit of B3. And it's kind of like I described it. It's like if the Wallflowers and the Foo Fighters kind of came together. That's, if you can, I'm super pumped for this song. I'm jazzed. Just because I want people to hear it. It's fun. And there's a teaser on my Instagram right now with it, if you want to check it out. And TikTok.
I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Because, when I have a podcast with somebody, I bring up their music, and I was like, hey, what's this little guy? I was like, I don't ever remember seeing that, because I knew you dropped a bunch of singles for the album. Yeah. And it just, you slide a little bit more to the right, and I'm like, ooh. And I'm like, oh, dude, yeah. This is great. But I mean, it's great because like we've talked about this before. A lot of people will judge you from your first, product of music. And
yeah,
man, if they fall in love with that sound and you just go, woo, man, that's a solid bass.
It is. It's a very solid. I still love that song, and I think I love it more now because it was the only song I had on Spotify for 2 years.
I was going to say, for a very long time.
Very long time.
I can imagine, like, if I, being a fan out here in the Northeast, I'd be like, where'd this guy go? Come on, man. Yeah. Give me more.
Yeah. That's when I was like getting everything organized. I'm like, okay, I want to do a full album. Well, that's going to take some time. I had to record it twice. I didn't like it the first time. So this whole time I'm like, I need to get music out. It has to follow Hearts on Fire. And to the point where I would listen to it almost every day because I like it. But also I think at that point I was my only monthly streamer. It was like,
I'm making my own money back.
Yeah, you have 28 monthly streams. Well, I know where that came from. It's different now.
Yeah,
but I got, I kind of got toasted out on Hearts on Fire, but now I'm back to it, and I'm like, it'll mix in with I have a mix of my music, other people's music, whatever, and it'll just randomly come up, and I'm like, oh, that is a banger, you know?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with. I wanted it to get out, so I made the album cover very quickly, the single cover, and it was, I think it's purple. It's just purple in the snow, but it stands out. It stands out.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Now, like so you're an artist that can listen to his own music. I know a lot of people they don't want to hear it. I'm like, why? Like, you don't get pumped to hear. Like, it's a moment in time. It reminds you of, like, you know, if your studio time was awesome, you know, like there's a really cool camaraderie that happens, and you know, making art it's fun. That's why we do it.
I have this. The only problem I have with listening to my own music is there are little things that I could have done differently, or I wish I did differently, or that's a little off, or just small thing, or I wish I didn't do that glist with the symphony or whatever, the strings. It doesn't prevent me from listening to it, but it made me feel it. That's how I listen to my music, and it made me feel far more comfortable in my own skin when I watched Paul Simon. He listened back to Graceland, and you could see him visibly just go like, oh, "What I should have done this. I should have changed this lyric." And it's like it's like a top 10 album.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? So it was like, it doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter how much money you spend, how much time you spend, how great of a writer you are. When you listen back to your music, I'm always going to find something little tweaky, like maybe that background vocal should have been a little lower, just stupid stuff that no one else is going to hear.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm one of the artists that can listen to their own stuff. Can you? Do you?
My stuff's terrible though. I did do an EP in Nashville with the one band. That I'm very proud of that. But I have a page that I keep up. I don't know why, because it's like me, like, alone in the house. I just have like these like metal songs, and it's just like the guitar's not even plugged in. It's just me like miming to my own music, but it was content, you know. And like I wrote a song with a bunch of friends when I was like we were like 13, 14, and I thought it was a good song. I couldn't get them to cut it, and so I programmed the drums, I played the bass, I played the guitars, I wrote another solo, I did the vocals, did the background vocals, and they were like, "Oh, dude, that sucks." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, it's out, you know." Like, this song we heard third, and it is, dude. It's like me with like a Miller Lite can, and I'm just like trying to get past the fact that I'm terrible on vocals and just. But yeah, I like to, like, when I used to have like this old Digitech thing that when I plug in the computer, and I have jams of me just playing crap before I knew any theory or scales, and it's amazing to hear how much faster I was when I was younger. And it's just
really?
like, I'm like, man, like, I was obsessed with Buckethead.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I thought to play like Buckethead, dude, I used to bring my guitar into the gas station and I would play it everywhere.
Really?
It was just walking down the street. Just a lot of times, in just like, I don't know if you ever saw like Metalocalypse. Like,
no.
It's like he's like the fastest guitar player in the world, Squizgar Squealf. He just that's all he does. He just walks around with a guitar off stage, and like just like walking around in town. My buddy used to do it too. We just or one thing we'd be playing the classical part of To Live Is to Die. Ding, 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 ding. And we were told, like, if you could play that, you can play anything. And then we just would walk around just playing guitars, like, just like kids. But yeah, like, I was obsessed with like being super fast. Like, and I don't do any of it anymore. I used to do like tapping. It's probably why I have tendonitis really bad. Like, I could squeeze my muscle and make my arm like tremor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I would do it really fast. I kind of like George Lynch does. And I
Yeah.
remember I had a guy come up to me. My parents live at the beach, and they're very close to the boardwalk. So it's like busking, but I'm on like a private residence.
That's nice.
But yeah, and there's thousands of people that walk up and down the street because it's one of the biggest boardwalks in the country. And I had a guy come up, and he was watching me play. I can't remember if, man, he just came up. He said, "Man, that's really cool. I haven't seen that done since the '80s." And I was like, "Really? You play guitar?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I used to be super famous in the '80s." And I was like, "No way, man." I forget who he said he was, but it was like they had at the convention center like an '80s like hair metal like festival. And I was like, "Man, I wonder who it was."
Oh,
But I don't do any of that stuff anymore. Like somebody was like having a retirement. They're like, "Hey, can you play Eruption?" I'm like, "Man, I can't remember the last time I played Eruption because that was like the first thing I'd play."
yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
it's weird how like back then, I wanted to be, the Yngwie Malmsteen, Paul Gilbert, the speed demon, and now like I find myself I want to be like the Albert King, the John Lee Hooker, and Stevie Ray Vaughan, and just play with like tact and like emotion, and where
Right.
every note has a purpose, and it's just not. A lot of my playing was garbage. You know what I mean? Like, and
But
I
you could
still,
do it fast.
huh?
But you could do it fast.
Yeah. I mean, I still can. I drop a gear and disappear. But
Yeah.
there's a time and place for it. Like when you're at a crowd and they see you ripping, you're gonna turn more heads.
Yeah.
And it's like my buddy, he'll turn to me and he'll just say, "Go see Biscuit," and I'm like, "All right, here
Yep.
goes 10,000 notes that just, it's
Yep.
in country. It's kind of hard to pull back, but I've been getting better at it. Cause like when you have like, and I see people doing it, you have a great guitar player and like when you're getting into a song, cause like with country, there's a lot of movement and space for a lead and doing cool slides and cool licks. And I love that about it. Cause like for a while when one of the rhythm guitar players of a band I was managing, it was country. They put me in on rhythm. Man, I held that plate. I held everything down.
Yeah.
And then like I remember watching because I never really saw myself playing. I just remember watching the lead guitar player just play whenever the hell he wanted. And just walk around and what's up, like he shined during the solos, but for the most part, he just was like doing whatever he wanted, and I'm over there like, 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 come on, dude, like, I want to grab some water. But being a lead, I've been playing a lot of lead. It's really cool how like you can even go with the vocals, but it does take a little bit from the singer. Like I get the look when people are like, "All right, dude, come on, Yngwie."
Yeah. I have a good rapport with Tyler, my guitarist. And he knows I just give him a look when to cook, and he'll know and I'll just go cook. And it's typically at the end of The Devil in Me, because live we changed that because I don't have a gospel choir.
Yeah.
It just becomes this more kind of like rock at the end, like pure flat out Foo Fighters rock song, where I'm screaming "The Devil in Me," and I'm like, just go. And I'm doing everything I can to break a string on that acoustic, playing 3 notes. But that's one of the cool, like there are times and places where you can do that, even in Americana or country,
Yeah.
I'm glad I've got some songs I could do that, because I certainly can't do that with Old Man or Cedar Creek or one of the laid back chill ones.
Yeah, that would be a little out of place.
Yeah, but maybe I want to do it now.
Yeah. Dude, if you have somebody on stage that can rip, man, like if you're having a problem, whenever, like for some reason, with it, I would love to see if anybody like did a science paper on why people love the electric guitar so much. Like I have all the instruments, especially like it's always like the older like middle aged man. Which I am that guy. Yeah, like man, you hear someone doing some phrases. I don't care what I'm doing. I don't care. I'd be talking to anybody. It's rich, famous. I'm going to turn around and go, what you say? You know, you got any more of that, bud?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I think it has to electric guitar. It starts in like, and for me at least, it started in middle school because it's just cool, man.
Yeah.
It's just cool to learn electric guitar and show the chicks that you know how to play 3 notes and you can start a band with 3 notes.
Yeah.
And then you kind of learn, you know, okay, now I know power chords. Now let me do a little something else. And that just grows. And people and real musicians start to hear that. And you can really get in. You could be like, wow, how did you just do that? Look at that bend. Let me learn. Let me try to do that. And it's because more people, in my opinion, more people than you know play guitar in some way or fashion. And it's just a cool instrument to play. And it is so aesthetically pleasing to the ear, where some people, you know, oboe is really cool too. I don't think everyone loves the sound of oboe, but I think the vast majority and the different sounds an electric guitar can make, you know, like you mentioned, Buckethead sounds a lot different than Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
And you can love both. That's the cool thing, I think, with electric. Meanwhile, I'm in a room with about 10 acoustics and 1 electric.
Dude, I can never imagine having. Well, I'm like, I got 1, 2, 3. I got 1 upstairs, 4, and 5. Yeah, I got 5, but I got 10. I'm like,
Dude, I can't stop myself. I told my wife, hey, I put in an order for a new Martin, and she thought I was joking. And then I was stuck in like, no, really. So I didn't correct her for like 2 weeks. And then I'm like, yeah, just like the guitar I ordered. She's like, were you serious? You did that? I'm like, yeah. She's like, how are you going to pay for that? I'm like, I got plans. It's okay. It's all right. But yeah, I have an acoustic problem.
yeah.
I've got it. Yeah. Cause I've got a couple J200s, the classic cowboy guitar. I've got a 1930 something Gibson that just sounds old and awesome as hell. And I used it because it sounds old and swampy. I used it on The Fear on my last album. So there are places like that. An acoustic guitar just doesn't sound like an acoustic guitar all the time. In my opinion, they do. You could do stuff to them. You can keep those old strings on. You can put flat wounds on. You could just, and it depends on how they're built. There's a lot to it, and I'm often made fun of. And I fully accepted that, like, dude, just get like more electric guitars because I have one. But yeah, maybe I should diversify a little bit. But yeah, I've got quite a bit.
Yeah. So are you a Martin guy? You like the like darker sounding?
I go back and forth. I think live with my band, I'll play my J200, my Gibson J200. But anywhere else, if I'm doing my own thing, or if I'm writing, or if I'm in the studio, it is my D28, my Martin. It's just, it just sounds so good and so full. Or if I'm if I'm doing like a picnic circle or a song swap, I'll bring the Martin because I know it stands out. It just sounds superior. It just sounds bigger. And what's funny is I have a really expensive guitar that doesn't even hold a candle to my cheaper Gibson, you know. It's just how they're made and the certain woods. Like I got one that's walnut. Walnut's not supposed to sound good, but it does in this case for whatever reason. I picked up I think it's all mahogany, which is super rare from the 1970s. It smells like an old church basement, but it sounds awesome. It's like different guitars gives you a lot. Just because it's an acoustic guitar doesn't mean it sounds one way.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's crazy how different they are. That reminds me. It might have been the first time I saw Shane Smith and the Saints. Myron Elkins opened up for him, and I don't think he knew who he was or anything. And I was talking to him. I said, "Hey, first time out here?" He goes, "Yeah, dude, I'm so excited to be in the state where they make Martin guitars." And I was like, "Yeah, they do make them here." And I was like, I had friends that their wives worked at Martin, and I'm like, "Oh, so you play guitar?" And they're like, "No, why?" I'm like, "Well, why'd you marry her?" Like, oh, you work at Martin? If a girl told me, like as a guy, "Oh, you work at the guitar factory?" As a musician, you're just like, "What?" Because I play with a guy. He works at PRS, and man, he brought out his buddy, and it was before it hit production. The dude from Shinedown, it was one of his like beta guitars, and he just took it out of a bag and just went. I was like, "Dude, what are you doing? It's a PRS." And I said, I know it's expensive because it's got the handwritten stuff on the back. He goes, "They told me to beat the hell out of it, so I'm going to beat the hell out of it." And I was like,
really?
"Dude, yeah." And it's the one time I showed up, I finally bought. It took the loan out and bought a Silver Sky, the US model, and I just remember he just looked at me. He said, "Dude, that's what I do all day. I build them." And I was like, "Man, like." You ever thought about like just taking one home?
Yeah,
it's the temptation as a guitar player. I don't know if like, man, because I know I'd be like, "Oh, this is beautiful," and you'd hear, "Take me, take me home."
I would.
Yeah, it's the one EP we did in Nashville. It didn't even have a number on it, and it was a pre-run, a trial of a new guitar that Paul was working on, and it was crazy. I was talking to him, and I said, "Where'd you get this?" He goes, "Paul gave it to me." I was like, "Paul Reed Smith gave you this?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm one of his artists, and we were walking through the workshop, and I said, "Hey, what's that? That looks different." He goes, "Yeah, we're gonna try to put it out, but it just didn't feel right." And he goes, "Man, can I play it?" And he played it, and he said, "It's lovely." And Paul just said, "Hey, take it, cheers." And I was just like, "Dude, that's crazy," because all the guitars we had were all Paul Reed Smith, and
that's right place, right time, man.
Yeah, and
that is awesome.
Yeah, he's in a band, and I just missed. He was playing at this like little place where. I definitely would have been able to talk to him. And it was like the day after. It was like, "Oh, Paul Reed Smith was at Elkton Music Hall." I'm like, "Oh, I probably would have beat his ear off, asking questions." And
of course,
there's just so much. It's like talking to Drew Herrickle about anything music, and it's just I always feel like when they're like Tim, I met. You need a notepad because there's just so much. Like I want to know that they've already done the tweaking and the years and the reading and the knowledge and what could take a conversation 3 minutes with them would take 20 years for me of just trial and error.
Yeah, those two names, great examples of they could just have classes.
Yeah,
and especially Drew. Drew is because he's he knows how to fix he knows how to weld everything. He knows how to solder. He knows how to, and we were in the studio. I'm not going to mention the studio because a lot of things were broken there, but he was fixing all the stuff for the studio so that it would work for my session. Because, when you're in the studio, if something doesn't work, you don't get your money back typically.
Yeah.
But he was in there soldering I don't know, soldering something to make sure the B3 worked. And it's like, how do you even know how to do that? He's like, then he can play it like no one else's business. Drew's been on the stage. He's been my keys player a few times, and it's been a super special moment to share the stage with him, because he's one. I'll go to my guitarist. I'll be like, Cook, and then I'll be like, okay, stop, Drew, Cook. And it's just, these guys make, it's who you surround yourself. And I'm so lucky. And I've met them all. I've met all these guys through Bradley Procopi. I think you had him on.
Yeah.
And Tim. And I mean, how lucky am I, because the first, I think I talked about this before, but when I recorded The Devil in Me, I recorded it twice. The first time, I just wasn't happy with it whatsoever. It was fine, but it was like 80% there. It wasn't what I needed. And I was telling my wife, because we were already in the hole a lot of money recording an album. And I told my wife, who's not a musician, I'm like, listen to it. It's just not there. She's like, it sounds great. So I A/B tested this. And I'm like, listen to Shane Smith and the Saints Geronimo. And I played that. And then I played myself. She's like, I get it. She's like, I can tell the difference. So then she goes, well, why don't you just get that guy? And it was Brad. And because I did some quick research, and he lived in Plano, like 20 minutes from me. So that's how that all started. And it was, I'm very lucky to have so many great musicians and I think the best thing is they're great people.
Yeah.
They'll do anything for you. They'll help you out. I texted Drew the other day about, hey man, I need to get a keyboard. I need a piano for my studio kind of thing. He'll help you out in all of these guys that we're talking about will help you out in any way. And that's one of the coolest things I've noticed getting into music, especially in this Texas community, is there, man, you can make a lot of good friends, who are really talented.
Yeah. Well, that's like October 15th at the Stockyards, man. Like the last couple of the country versus metal thing get-togethers.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I just remember John, I don't know if you know John Cott.
I don't know. I know his name.
Yeah, he was there, and he was like, he heard somebody say like a rumbling. He goes, that guy was in American Aquarium. I need to meet him right now. And I'm like, yeah, Bill Corbin. He was like, you were not love American Aquarium. Yeah, and there were so many people that got to meet up, and like they were like, yeah, man, we should definitely, sing singer-songwriters, do song swaps, and it was really cool. And like John brought up, he goes, it's amazing is some dude from Delaware got all these people together, and look at them all networking, and John had brought the guy who did a bunch of art for like the Red Clay Strays and all kinds of stuff, and it was just like really cool that like there was a lot of musicians and a lot of management and a lot of like bookers, and it was just really cool. And it's funny, like it just, man, I met so many people, and like I was talking like,
dude, I saw like I wasn't able to go last year, and it was a bummer for me. But this year I'm there. It's on the calendar. All the names, like everybody is like, it's either I know that person or I want to know that person or I love their music and all of these different things. Plus, I want to see Drew's. I want to see Mint. Who's performing? Mint Still.
Yeah, Men Still and Chixie Dicks. I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Yes.
I have that shirt. That shirt.
That's
People
gonna, that's gonna be a treat. That'll be awesome.
and like Bill and Drew are both in the same. They just sit and wait
Yeah.
for. They're in the same bands. Like Bill's like, yeah, maybe I'll show up, and I was like, well, I hope because you're in all the bands. And it'd be cool to see who goes up and does some songs. There's gonna be a bunch of guitars up there.
Yeah.
So when they're done performing, they're gonna like last year. One of the vocalists, his voice is kind of given out, and Della Rose, they got up, sang a song. Carissa Carter, they had a bunch of other artists just jump up.
Oh hell yeah!
And perform, because that's what Steve was saying, is like we're gonna have a bunch of guitars. Anybody who wants to go up, and we're gonna have plenty of artists.
That's
So,
awesome. I'd love to. One thing I'd love to do, because it's been so hard to get us in the same room. I did a song with Della Rose called "Burn the Ships," and we've really never played it live together. So that might be, because I know they're going to be there.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, because we did like a chorus together, and that gave me chills. It was like, whoa, what the heck? Because they're so good.
Yeah,
it feels like they're really catching a wind right now. They're doing real well.
that's good to hear.
Yeah, it's they're releasing some music now. I feel like they're in a good place, and they're the sweetest people. Again,
Yeah.
we're talking about just like super talented, but also just they'll do anything for you. They'll help you out in any way they can. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. Tim will be there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
yeah, me too. Me too. Before that, I go to. Have you ever gone to Americana Fest?
No, I don't.
It's in Nashville. It's one you got to go to. It's all of these artists, Texas artists, Tennessee artists. It's like South by in that it's kind of spread out throughout the city. A lot of different venues. Some are unofficial, so you don't have to pay to get in. I'm playing that in 2 weeks, but it's an awesome event, Americana Fest. I'm pumped for it. You should check it out one year.
Yeah, that I've been meaning to go to. Man, ever since I started doing the podcast, is my buddy. I don't know like who owns who, but he has his own management company with tied in with a Nashville label, and I'm pretty sure Colt Ford has ownership in it, and he said, we could use the podcast room, and he sent me a picture, and it's like, oh, it's like legit. I haven't been to Nashville in forever, and I hope the offer's still up there, but my drummer, he works there, so I'm pretty sure it'd be cool. Yeah, he his first co-write went platinum, so like it. I just remember asking that. I said, "You obviously you don't work your job anymore." He goes, "Nah, I just spend money." I was like, "Good for you, man." His first one, like we did a writing session in Nashville where he helped with the percussion.
Yeah,
and a bunch of we all sat and wrote some songs, and man, I remember he wrote it and he went live on TikTok and added me, and I was just like, "Yeah, this is a good song." And next thing you know, he's like, "Yo, we won platinum." And I was like, yeah, I try to call him every quarter. I'm like, what's the BMI? What's the BMI check? He's like, dude, are you sitting down? And he just, dude, it's like astronomical because he has no tie. He had no ties to a label. So he gets his full half.
Oh,
and the other artist has a label, and you know how that goes. And yeah, he's like pulling up to my house with like an Excursion with like 42-inch tires.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like just one song, and it's. I mean, it's a great song, and it was cool. It's really cool to see that, and shop songs for people. Where
That's
they just,
incredible.
yeah, they just have songs, and they have people, if they want to cut it, they cut it, and he only has to write like a couple songs a month. And
Did he have a pub deal before that?
no, he was
But he has one now.
yeah,
Yeah.
he went with it was more, man, I think it's more 50-50 now, because some of those ones, they have like sunset clauses where like you'll never own your own stuff, and
Yeah.
he just went with the ones they seem on the business side, they seem to be more music oriented.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
actually,
cool.
yeah, I have yet to go there. Every once in a while, I send like, he always talks about one Corvettes and stuff, so I send him like Corvette Matchbox cars and hats and stuff. So I've been meaning to go down. He was the one he like convinced me I could do music full time. Him and the other guy he was playing with, and of course that all went to hell, But
As it does.
yeah, when people are, you look over and you're like, what are you smelling off that Garmin? Oh, okay, Yeah, and this is why we're lost in Manhattan in a trailer where we can't turn around anywhere. This is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go over the Washington Bridge again. That's another $80.
Yep. Yep. I've definitely been there.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember last time we talked. Did you ever end up finding any suitable Italian places in Texas, or?
Yeah, there's a few. The names escape me, obviously, as you asked me, but there's one. There's one that makes really good linguine in Lakewood, which is part of Dallas, and then there's another one that you just can't get into. It's so popular, but I've kind of just, honestly, it's easier at this point to make my own.
Yeah.
Because I know how my mom would make it. Because for those who don't know, I'm originally from the Northeast, so I'm very up in the Northeast. Italian is like Mexican down here in Texas, Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
So, if anyone has any suggestions for Italian in Texas, or even the surrounding states, because I've been touring a lot lately, please hit me up. Because I'm all for Italian food.
Yeah. Now, you call it sauce or gravy?
So my I go back and forth, because if I know if I'm in mixed company, I'm just going to confuse someone. I'll just call it sauce. But I know it's gravy. So I don't need to explain why it's called gravy. Especially down here, people just look at me weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a big thing.
When was the last time you were in Texas? Was it last year?
Last year for we did the country versus metal thing and the Troubadour Fest.
Oh, yeah.
It was like an all-you-can-eat barbecue.
Yes.
Which was awesome.
That's awesome.
Like, being from the Northeast, brisket, they shred it up here. And the first time going to the Texas barbecue place, and it just like looked like a Snickers bar. I was like,
yeah,
that's brisket, Why don't we have that? I mean, it's starting to come around. We have a couple places where like they slice it instead of just shredding it and putting it in the sauce, and it's always too sweet.
Yes, you gotta be able to put on your own sauce.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah,
just in my opinion. People are very protective of their barbecue brisket. I don't want to, we each like our own way.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, I'm pumped to see you at Stocktober.
Hell yeah! Are you bringing the Willie Bus?
You want me to?
Talbot just said a comment and said, "Hey, ask him if he's bringing the Willie Bus."
I can bring the Willie Bus. We just have to figure out parking.
We'll definitely we'll have to get in touch with the people at Rhinestone and see if there is a place.
Yeah, I'm sure they've had a tour bus there before.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could definitely. I'll definitely bring the Willie Bus. Uh, that'll be fun. That'll make it even more fun.
Yeah. You,
Yeah.
you you gotten pulled over lately for people to check it out? I know that.
Not lately. Not lately. We've been well. Okay, we got pulled over once, and it was just to clarify that it is registered as an RV, not as a tour bus. Um, then they said, "Can we check it out? Can we go inside?" And I was like, "Oh no." He's like, "We just want to check it out, man." I'm like, "Okay, come on in. Like, this is cool." And he was like, "This is awesome." And I gave the history because it wasn't only Willie's. It was like, Robert Earl Keen had it, Ray Wiley Hubbard, Charlie Crockett, all of these amazing Texas artists have used it, leased it. Hayes Carl, Ray Wiley Hubbard's filming a movie with it coming up. It's got so much cool history to it. Yeah, it'll be there. If Talbot can figure out the parking situation, it's there.
Nice.
It's there. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I see it on Instagram. And I'm like, man, that thing's cool.
It is cool. It is cool. It's a little nerve-wracking when you're taking it to, because it's older, right? We did a run. We did Dallas to Malvern, Arkansas, to Little Rock, Arkansas, to Memphis, to Nashville, back to Dallas. That's a lot for an old girl.
Yeah.
And she was great. It was awesome. And those bunks are those. I sleep like a baby in those bunks. It's just like a little cocoon. But yeah. So, and if anyone ever wants to lease it, let me know. That's happy
awesome.
to. A lot of people, what some people do is they'll, because it's based in Dallas, they'll take it and then they'll lease it to, like, they'll go to Fort Worth, they'll go see a show. It'll be like, it's a glorified party bus sometimes, and I'm totally fine with that. It's cool. If someone can appreciate the history, awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And when you go to a show on a tour bus, I would, like, who's going to stop backing up that bus next to, like, the artist's bus? They're definitely going to, here, come on. Here's your shore power.
yep.
And you just hop out. You're like, hey, who are you with?
We're
Yeah. My manager has the lanyards over there.
Yeah, it's a crew bus. We got to figure out. I'll be right back.
Yeah. It's like the Hunter S. Thompson zoo plane. All the maniacs. Hey!
What's that? Tell
No,
me.
it was just like, I just remember the movie where they had like these planes, and the one was like, we're all like the prim and proper gentlemen were on this, and then they had the zoo plane. Where it was
Okay.
they were like throwing footballs around and drinking and having fun, and
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I
This is definitely the zoo plane. Last time we had it we were at the Whiskey Myers show with Angel White, and we had a tattoo artist in the bus just giving tattoos to everyone.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. I think Angel got a Willie for Prez tattoo. I'm like, hey, if you're gonna do it, it's it's a cool bus. It's awesome. I think it's leased out. I think the next time it's out is for Lainey Wilson, and then Stocktober. We just got to figure that out.
Yeah,
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 man.
definitely. That'd be cool. Because like you said, it's a pretty cool list of names that have lived and breathed.
Oh,
It-
oh my God.
It's our house.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, on one of the panels inside the bus, me and the prior owner have had all of these artists sign it. Like Billy Joe Shaver signed it, Ray Wiley Hubbard, Asleep at the Wheel. All these just famous Texas artists have all used this bus. And I think a lot of the artists who show up, and even the people just spectators will show up, they'll get a kick out of it and get a cool photo shoot too.
Oh yeah, especially if you're an artist, you know.
Yeah.
I would definitely be like, new tour vehicle, you know.
Yeah.
The door opens. Hey, get out of here.
Dude, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I take it right, you know, take a picture in front of the bus or do a selfie, you know, in front of the bus. Like, dude, why not?
Yeah, you see a Lambo or a Ferrari, you know, for those 2 seconds, it's yours. You know, you're not touching it, you're not scratching. Hey, check it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, country verse metal worldwide.
Exactly. I had it at Luck Reunion, which is which is one of Willie's festivals, and I'm going through Luck Reunion's Instagram after the fact, and I see Jessica Simpson right next to the bus, just like taking a photo shoot with it. I'm like, is that Jessica Simpson with my bus? What the hell? And it was just cool. It's like, no matter who you are, no matter how popular you are, you think you can appreciate how cool it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm lucky to still be the owner of the Willie Bus, the Red-Headed Stranger.
Yeah. That's a cool flex.
It's a cool flex. It's as long as your music lives up to it in some way or another.
Oh, you definitely.
You know,
dude, who has a first album that sounds like yours, that is that pristine and great sounding? You know what I mean? There's no like, so you can hear somebody's first album and be like, oh, they'll sound better with money. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yours out a first album like that.
Thank you.
That is a solid first release, and like we've talked about, when people base you off your first, you know, that's a solid. You know,
I appreciate that. That's really nice for you to say. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it has, dude. The way, like I said, those soundscapes, man, and that, like, man, I'm terrible. I don't know if it was like 2 summers. There's like this cool like guitar lick that's like real shimmery, and it's just, man, that's a great song too.
2 summers, yeah.
Cedar Creek.
Cedar Creek. That's my lick. That's the only lick I really came up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Cedar Creek that has this solo where like the note hangs and you're like, oh, it's hanging too long, and it just bends right up, and it's perfect. I forget what song, but it's like a cliffhanger, and you're just like, I love moments like that, because your brain, even though if you're not a musician, your brain knows the 12 notes, it knows the major minor scale, just kind of like, it's just how we like to hear things, and it just when it hangs and you just that tension.
Yeah,
it puts you back, and you're like, oh, I'm happy again. And even if you aren't a musician, it's just, it's really cool. It's a really cool effect. And man, I would love to remember what song it was, but man, it's just
could be
it's done.
It
probably is, because that's a cool song.
Yeah,
that has like a
those,
lot
like,
of cool.
Joe Walsh, like Joe Walsh does a really good job of his solos, like not doing something, like laying back and letting the air breathe, and then going in. Like, that's kind of what it reminded me of, which I think I know what you're talking about. But yeah, and that cool like shimmery lick, that
Yeah.
2 summers, we were in the studio, and Tim Lightyear, the song was kind of done, and we were just messing around. He's like, "Want to get weird?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's get weird, man." So I was like, "That's so cool. We got to keep that, man."
Yeah.
That's kind of how the fun stuff happens in the studio. It's not laying down the bass and the drums and tuning the drums. That's not the fun part. It's, you know, getting all that accoutrement.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So,
well, we've been talking for an hour.
Ellie, jeez. Yeah. All right. Good for us.
Yeah. Is there anything you wanted to talk about, or?
I mean, I've got my single coming out September 5th. I hope you all check it out. It's called Breakthrough. The easiest way to check that out is to follow me on Spotify, because it'll go up into your release radar. And I appreciate you, man, for supporting all of us, a lot of Texas musicians who are just, getting it done, just doing our best and just crushing it, So thank you.
Yeah, dude, thank you. I mean,
and if you're in Nashville, I had to write down the date. September 12th, 8:30. I'll be at Baseline Brewery. I'll be playing there. Maybe I'll have a fiddle player with me. Would be cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Hell yeah.
I might bawl like a baby, but.
Oh well.
Whatever.
People will remember you for it, and
they'll remember me, all right.
Are you an ugly crier?
I'm like just kind of stop, and then I become an ugly crier. So, and it's hard to sing when you're an ugly crier, because I've tried to train myself not to. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, well, you can always count the lights. Yeah. Hopefully there'll be a lot of lights to count.
Count the lights. Count the lights. Yeah, I'll name a song that way. Yeah, count the lights. There we go.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm all for it, man.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it was nice talking to you.
Good talking to you too, man.
Yeah, thanks for taking time, especially, it's Memorial Day.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and I'll see you in a few months in person.
Yeah, dude. Yep, I got the tickets. I'm ready to go.
Hell yeah, man. It'll be fun.
Yeah, dude, it's been fun the last couple of years, so it's definitely it's bigger venue, bigger everything, more names. It's going to be a great time.
Love it. Love it. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Be cool to meet you and meet everybody.
Yeah,
dude. That I haven't on that list, and it's Texas.
If we get parking, I'll bring the bus.
Hell yeah, I'm sure Talbot will.
He'll make that happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah, man.
But yeah, once again, thanks for coming on, and have a great night, man.
Thanks for having me, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Yep.
Peace.
See ya.